Hi guys, and welcome. If you are new here, my name is Tayana and I share about frugal living and simple homemaking as a stay-at-home mum and one income family living in New Zealand. Today I wanted to dive into the topic of how we can manage to eat well on a tight budget. I will also be sharing a grocery haul with you guys towards the end of this video to share with you the kinds of snacks and foods that we often buy on repeat in our household. This doesn't include meat or staple ingredients such as sugar, flour, rice, beans, etc. because a few days before I filmed this video I actually went to my local Whole Foods and did a bulk stock up of a lot of these ingredients. So with our meat we didn't need much in this shopping because I had stocked up in the previous shopping, and we are planning on making a large order through our local butcher, so I will keep you updated on that because I'm not really sure how we are going to navigate that yet, but we are planning on doing that. Footage for this video was just a whole bunch of random videos that I had took over the span of nearly 2 weeks, and I wasn't really sure if I would even make this video because every time I would pull the camera out I had intentions to film a specific video and then I got distracted or something happened, and so I ended up with just a whole bunch of random footage from the last 2 weeks. But I thought I would use it as an opportunity to talk about this subject and also just to share what I have been learning in the home at the moment, in particular the kitchen. So if you're like me and you're stuck in a little bit of a rut between wanting to eat highly nutritious food made with better quality ingredients that are better for our health, but you're on a tight budget and you don't have the extra income to splash out, then I am right there with you and I am learning as I go as well. But if you are interested, I have shared more of our frugal living tips over on my Instagram and my TikTok, so you could check those out. So I have always enjoyed cooking from scratch, and I've gone through phases where I've taken it more seriously, but then I also went through a phase of having a balance between convenience and cooking from scratch, and recently I've been really encouraged and inspired to get back into the kitchen and learn to cook more from scratch. So there was a couple of things in the last fortnight that I have tried my hand at again. For the first time I made pita pockets and they turned out really well. This is something that was really simple to make and I didn't even realize it, but will now never buy them from, well, never say never, but I will try and not buy these from the supermarket again. I also made some sandwich loaves. These turned out really nice, but there's a couple of things that I would like to change in the future just to make them a little bit better. You would have seen at the start of the video that I was making rosemary and sea salt cheese scones, and these were really nice. But one thing that I have been doing in the kitchen lately is doubling the recipe for a lot of the things that I'm making, especially for something like this, because I am freezing half of it, and it was really great to pull these out of the freezer a few days later and put them into the oven. They tasted just as good as they did fresh, and now I have another bag in the freezer for another time that I need a quick snack or lunch in a hurry. And that's something else that I've been implementing in my kitchen lately, and I don't know why I haven't been doing it sooner because it's been so good. One, I'm already making a mess and making the recipe anyway, so why not double it and save my time later on? And two, it's been a game changer to have these items in the freezer for when I need them. So it's been great, and I'm going to carry on doing this with a lot of recipes that I make. see coming up in the video shortly, I'm making homemade gnocchi to go with this soup, and this was a new recipe that I was trying and it was really delicious. I posted it on my stories and I had a lot of people ask me what the soup was called. My pronunciation for this one is definitely going to be wrong, but I believe it's called Zuppa Toscana, but correct me if I am wrong. But I found it in a cookbook that I've taken out from the library and it was really nice, so I'm going to save this one and use it again in the future. But it required homemade gnocchi and this is a time consuming thing to make, so I made a double batch of it again, and what I did was I froze it in the freezer on a tray and then I broke them up, whichever one stuck to each other, and then I put them into bags to vacuum seal. And this made it really easy to put them into the freezer instead of freezing them fresh. Over the last couple of weeks, I have also been spring cleaning. I've been going through each bedroom's closets and then also just getting rid of any clutter that has built up over winter time. I've been giving each room a general clean and just getting rid of any mess. Now, we live on a tight budget when it comes to food, but my priorities are still to eat nourishing food, less preservatives, less additives as possible, and this is just not that easy on a low budget, and I'm sure a lot of you will know that. But if there's one thing I really value our money going towards, it's good food. So ways that I can make this achievable for my family is by cutting down costs in other areas of our life, so we don't excessively spend on other unnecessary purchases, clothing for new seasons, or having the latest and greatest technology. We actually have a really small TV that we could afford. We don't pay for any streaming services apart from my husband and I's shared Apple Music plan. Another way that we can eat well on a budget is by shopping around. So I've always tried to go to my local butchers, and not only are you paying less sometimes you're definitely paying more. A lot of the time I found I'm paying the supermarket price or a little bit less, and I'm getting a higher quality product that is also being locally sourced most of the time, as much as it is possible. And then same goes for my grocers. I buy a lot of my fruit and veg from my local grocers, as well as eggs sometimes. I also get my bacon from there, and although I can buy these same products at the supermarket, I find it worth it to also put my money into local businesses as well. As of recently, I've started shopping at Bin and Whole Foods again, which they sell organic ingredients in bulk, which has been a much more affordable way for me to access higher quality ingredients that are better for our health. A couple of things that I have not been ready to make from scratch yet are muffin splits and bagels. So I do buy these, and then there are just a few snacks that I like to buy from the supermarket. I want to start getting my peanut butter from Bin, but I keep leaving my jar at home. And then we always get a ton of milk because my family drinks milk like it's going out of fashion. There was a couple new snacks that I tried in the shopping, which were these Walker's shortbreads. My daughter seems to really like them so far, and the ingredients are really good. I always like to pick up just some natural yogurt and nuts. My daughter loves nuts, so does my husband. Cheese is always a staple, fruit is a staple, butter, eggs, toothpaste, just the essential items that most households need. I get a lot of inspiration for snack swaps and healthier supermarket options from a couple of accounts that I follow, but a lot of it has just been doing basic research and reading the labels. Normally, if I don't recognize the ingredients or they have random numbers beside them, even though I know some of these can be natural ingredients, I just try and avoid anything that I don't recognize and just stick to ingredients that I do. So recently, to sort of hide the clutter in my pantry, I divided everything up into these boxes and then put everything in jars. I've had everything in jars for a long time, but it's been really nice to keep my pantry nice and tidy. And a bacon and egg with cheese and tomato relish bagel has been my go-to for lunch lately. So I sat down to have this with my daughter, and she just had a smaller version with fruits and cheese and yogurt. vegetables going off in my fridge, so instead of wasting them, I decided to put them in these freezer bags, and I will use them at a later date to make stock. And then I am trying to get into a better routine of cleaning my vegetables before I put them into my fridge. So I just rinse them in some vinegary water and then dried them off. So this week I went to the warehouse and there was this glass bottle on clearance, and I decided I'm going to put a little soap dispenser next to my kitchen sink. So I picked up this refillable Eco Store foaming soap from my local Whole Foods, and it has been a game changer. I can't believe I didn't think about this sooner, to have a soap dispenser next to my kitchen sink. It's so good, so I highly recommend that. Thank you guys for joining me on today's video. If you got this far, then I'm so glad that you are supporting my channel, and I thank each and every one of you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.